We're live.
Great. Hey, hi everyone. We had a big attendance on our Facebook Live yesterday. So thank you to all who followed us, and we're really glad we could answer all your questions. As a matter of fact, these have flowed over into our mailbox overnight, so we're still responding to these. Thanks a lot for your patience. The reason for today's unplanned live session is that we had a few rather positive updates from Immigration New Zealand overnight, and we thought we would share these with you. So first of all, there's a lot of concern from current temporary visa holders and the impact that the coronavirus, COVID-19, has had on their current circumstances. Immigration New Zealand actually called this migrant hardship. So Rachel, so we have Rachel Thornton today with us, licensed advisor at New Zealand Shores, and Winnie Wang as well, a licensed advisor with us. Thanks for making time. Rachel, it seems Immigration New Zealand is likely to show some leniency for people who are no longer able to meet the conditions of their visas, or perhaps people whose visa has expired.
Yeah, so yes, that's correct. There are a couple of situations that you can find yourself in as a result because of the COVID-19 crisis. One would be that your visa has expired, but you can't leave New Zealand because of the current border restrictions, and you could be deemed unlawful in New Zealand. If your temporary visa has expired between the 1st of April up until the 9th of July this year, it will automatically be extended to the 25th of September this year by Immigration New Zealand automatically. However, if it has expired before this date and you can't leave New Zealand, or your country's borders are shut, then you are unlawfully in New Zealand. This will be the case probably for a handful of international students. You'll need to explain your circumstances to Immigration New Zealand as soon as possible, and they will look at this and possibly issue you a visa as an exception. People can contact us though if they need some further information on this.
That's great. So it's a very positive and helpful approach in that respect. Now, many workers have had their weekly hours cut down below the required 30 hours per week in most visa categories. So they're technically now breaching the conditions of their work visas. Is this likely to be a problem now or for future applications?
What immigration have said is that they will be taking a reasonable approach to individuals in this situation. They do have a compliance team who usually look into these matters, and they will take into account the impact of COVID-19 and what it's had on each person's situation. They will consider this for future applications with some leniency, I'm sure.
Okay, great. So we touched on this yesterday, but let's say I'm a work visa holder and I lose my job. I can try and secure a new position in New Zealand without worrying about getting kicked out of the country or anything. Is that right, Winnie?
Yes, absolutely. So as most of your employment gives you a month notice period, so we would advise you to make the best use of this time on looking for a new job so that we can apply for a new work visa once you secure a new role. But if you cannot secure a job offer within a month, you don't need to worry about that, because being made redundant is not your fault. So we can definitely explain the circumstances to Immigration New Zealand, and they would for sure take this into consideration.
Okay. Now, turning to international students again. International student visa holders must have a full health insurance while in New Zealand. So does this mean that if I'm an international student and I suspect I might have COVID-19, do I have to pay to get that test?
No, not at all. International students are actually eligible for free tests and public health care if they think they have coronavirus. You can also check the Ministry of Health website for more information.
Okay, fantastic. We'll put that link on the Facebook post shortly. So many of our clients at New Zealand Shores are international students, and some of them are expecting to start their studies in New Zealand this June or July. There usually is a July intake each year. Some have valid student visa approved already. Can they enter New Zealand now that the lockdown has been eased to level 3?
Well, at this stage, it's a no answer. Level 3 means that current international students can travel out of New Zealand to return to their home country, but they will not be able to enter New Zealand until restrictions are reviewed on the 11th May. But that still allows reasonable processing time before classes start for the July intake. So if you've been accepted by a New Zealand education provider for the July intake, you should submit your student visa application online as soon as possible, because international student visa applications are prioritized. Actually, if you've just completed your studies and you are eligible for a post-study work visa, these applications are also currently prioritized on the level 3. So get in touch with us and we can just advise further.
Okay, so level 3, as far as Immigration New Zealand is concerned, makes no difference to level 4 in terms of prioritization, or does it, Rachel?
Well, actually it does. Some immigration offices have now opened with limited number of staff working though. Other offices throughout New Zealand are due to open progressively over the next couple of weeks to increase the processing capacities. The National Document Office did reopen on the 30th of April, which now means that paper applications are actually starting to get lodged and queued for allocation.
Right, so that's onshore offices progressively reopening, but still the offshore offices remaining shut until further notice. Fantastic. So this is all looking quite positive at this stage, Rachel, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. All going well. Further restrictions are going to get lifted in the next couple of weeks, and then we should see immigration significantly ramp up their processing capacity. A lot of individuals and families have been left hanging, so it's really important that this could bring some relief to them.
Awesome, fantastic. Thanks a lot, Winnie and Rachel. This was just a quick update on the current state of things with Immigration New Zealand. Thanks everyone for watching and have a great weekend. Bye.
Great. See ya.